What's up, everyone? This is Bob and Chris from Join or Die Podcast. Today is Sunday, September 15th, 2024, and there's really not a whole lot to talk about except for the big debate that happened last week, where Donald Trump took on Kamala Harris. And I guess the question is, who won? Me, myself, I don't feel like he won. I also don't feel like I don't think it helped her.
I think we all lost.
Yeah. His best part was his ending.
Mm-hmm.
His ending remarks.
Mm-hmm. Why haven't you done it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as she goes, she didn't answer anything.
That was a liegram. I mean, she just lied, and the moderator. I didn't know that the female I don't know what the hell her name is, Lynn, whatever that was. She was like a sorority sister or something.
Yeah,
like that. Like
in the same sororities.
How do you not, dismiss yourself or exclude yourself for what's the word for? When there's a conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest. Yeah. I don't know.
There's no shame.
Well, because
it'd be like me interviewing you.
You know what's funny? And it's blatantly done. Like, they know this stuff is going to come to fruition. People are going to realize.
They have no shame. There's no shame.
No,
inside.
And that's
none.
That's what's scary. And I kind of noticed this over the past few years. They don't care if you know their game. They don't care if you realize that they're being hypocrites or anything like that. They don't care. They still do. Why? Because they still get voted for.
Mm-hmm.
They still get into office. They still retain their power. And it's just amazing how people don't wake up. Like, imagine if Donald Trump was at the debate and the guy who was moderating, I forget his name too, it doesn't matter. They were both two partisan hacks. Imagine if he was in the same frat or whatever as Donald Trump. It would be,
they'd be
all over the news.
Yeah, sure. And honestly, it should be like, well, maybe we shouldn't pick people who you're friends with or you're a sorority or a frat with or you work together for. And honestly, she should have refused to do it, saying, listen, I want this to be fair. People are going to look at me as being, I'm going to be biased because it's tough not to be biased. And with something like this, it's one thing she wants to have an interview with her and say, hey, listen, we knew each other, we go back. But when you're having a presidential debate, it's not fair. You can't have someone up there who was in the same sorority as you and expect people to go, I don't have a problem with that. It's unprofessional.
The first question was to Kamala Harris was what? About the economy.
You're so cool. Tell us why.
Yeah. It was about the economy, and they asked her, are people's lives better now than they were 3.5 years ago?
Which isn't awful. I don't think that's a bad question.
No,
that's always been that. That's always kind of been a question.
But she didn't answer. And when I said, okay, so let me get this clear. When I say that Donald Trump didn't win, it's not because Kamala Harris answered questions in a more clear way than he did. She didn't answer any questions. Everything that she said was practiced, and it didn't matter what the question was. This is what she was going to say.
She spoke way too fluently. You look at her speak, and it's like when she's out at public events or whatever, she's a mess.
Well, the ABC interview after.
It's a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
But she was up there. She spoke way too fluently. You can't help but tell. I don't know. There was an ABC, I think, whistleblower that came out and said she did get questions. She did receive the questions beforehand. I don't know, but I can just say, looking at her entire vice presidency, she has never spoke that fluently without saying some she didn't answer any questions, but she sold it with the way she spoke. She was, I don't want to say articulate because that's kind of, but she was, again, and I don't believe the earpiece thing because there's no way in real time you can ramble off that fast what you're hearing in your ear.
Yeah, I don't
believe that, but I don't know. I mean, if a whistleblower had an affidavit, saying...
Yeah, but is that, I know that was reported on, but is it actually, has that been solidified? Did he actually come out? I know there are reports of an alleged whistleblower coming out saying that they received the question.
I heard an affidavit.
Huh?
They said something about an affidavit. Whether
he
was going to swear to it or he did swear to it, I can't remember.
And so I didn't see that. I'm not, listen, am I going to put it past the Democrats to hand out questions to a candidate? They did it before. I know it's happened before. So, and it would, see, here's the thing though. Even in
Donna Brazil.
Yeah, but even in 2020, when Harris was running for president, she is a pretty good debater. She is way more fluent in debates than she is off the cuff. If you're just going to sit her down for an interview, she's just going to word salad you to death. But in debates, because she practices. She was a lawyer. What do? You practice your intro. You practice what you're gonna find at your final.
But the difference is, you just said it, practice.
Yeah, you
know
practice.
what you're going to say.
And that's what I said.
In a debate, you may not know what the question is, so I don't know how you.
Yeah, but that's why I said when like she didn't answer any questions. She had pre-recorded and practiced answer responses that she was going to say no matter what that question was.
Yeah.
They asked her about the economy. She went. It was basically an intro for her. I grew up in a middle class family. My mom did this and all this. There was no answer.
And that's where the moderators are bad. They should turn around and say, "Thank you, Mr. Vice President, for saying that. Can you still answer the question?"
That's what they did to Trump, and that's why these moderators, which they weren't moderators at all.
Trump's problem was,
well, he got caught.
Yeah.
She threw some wrenches at him.
he doesn't have. Yeah, he doesn't have. He can be witty at times, but he's not. He can't like I said before. And I can't remember if I said it on here or I was just talking to you or somebody else. When she turns around and referred to him as a felon or referred to him as being locked up, he should have turned around and said, if anybody knows about locking up innocent people, it should be you. How many black men did you extend prison sentences on to have them serve in forest fires? Basically, not only is this 14th Amendment violation, an 8th Amendment violation, but it's a 13th Amendment violation, which outlawed slavery and forced servitude. You extended black men's, for weed that you laughed about smoking, and you extended their sentences, violating an amendment that was there for slavery and forced servitude. So our first African American possible president is actually whatever she refers to, our first minority, whatever she sees herself as this week, is the same person that violated an amendment which actually freed slaves. Can you talk about that?
You won't. You're not going to get a question from asked like that unless you have.
No, that's a shit. Trump should have turned around and say, "Let's talk about that." Because if anybody knows about locking up innocent people and keeping them in jail for ridiculous reasons, it's you. Then you bring that up.
Do you think the muted mics helped or hurt Trump?
I don't.
Or helped or hurt Kamala Harris, I should say.
I don't think they had anything. I don't think they were. I don't believe they were a part of it. I don't see how I was a part of it.
I do like he hit her with the I'm speaking, which is her line. And that's the whole reason why she wanted the mics to be unmuted, because she wanted him to interrupt.
Sure.
So she could say, I'm speaking.
Yeah, no,
that
like
was... She did the Mike Pence, like she did the whoever
No, that
else.
was good. That was good. But, I mean, the problem was, again, that, and this is the moderator's fault, but she... with the fine people hoax, they should have turned around and said, okay, just for clarification, the fine people was you're omitting information here, and the actual statement that he had was there was more nuance to it.
Yeah.
And then when she said she blamed him for something else, and they jumped in, but they didn't clarify it, and that's the problem. She basically lied, and instead of them turning around and going, Madam Vice President, just to clarify. When he said this was added. So you're, by omitting the truth, you are lying.
Yeah.
And that was never I think they fact check him like 6 or so times. I can't remember.
It was a bunch,
but none on her.
Yeah. But here, and that really pissed me off because she said multiple lies. Again, it has been debunked hundreds of times with the good people on both sides bullshit from Charlottesville. He had to fact check that. He had to do it.
He could have called her to the carpet on so many things. The Afghanistan pullout. And this is how I am. I would have turned around and said to her, 13 servicemen and women died because of that botched Afghanistan withdrawal. Would you like to apologize now to those families? You put them on the spot. And then later when they talk about immigration, you go, if your immigration policies work so well, why is Lake and Riley dead? Why is, I forget the other woman that was killed. I mean, there's a lot, but there are two that come to my attention. Would you like to take this time now and apologize to Lake and Riley's family for your failed immigration policy? You put them in a spot where if you don't apologize, you look like an insensitive piece of garbage. And if you do apologize, like, thank you for admitting your fault. And Tulsi Gabbard prepped him. I'm like, dude, she's a smart woman, and she destroyed Harris. I don't understand.
I don't think you can
He
actually.
would have been better prepped by me.
I don't think you can actually prep Donald Trump. I wouldn't put that on Tulsi. I just think he's.
But
his
these
own
are talking.
person, man.
These are talking points you got to remember. Like, you want to make her look bad, and the way you do it is to give her She's a lawyer. What do lawyers do? They give you questions that no matter which way you answer it, it favors their argument. So it's like, do you want to take the time now to apologize? And if she sits there like, you don't, not a problem. Thanks for your sensitivity on this matter.
I think
like you got to ask her the questions because you cannot rely on the monitor.
I think if you had like a J.D. Vance doing the debate, he would do something like that. Is him and Walls supposed to be debating? Are they? Did they have one set up?
There is one set up. I forget.
There is one set up. Now that one,
he's going to annihilate him.
I think J.D. Vance will. I absolutely feel like he'll crush that. Going into this debate, people were making it a big deal. I really didn't listen, man. I'm not impressed with the way Donald Trump debates because he doesn't answer questions either. He brings it to back whatever the point that he wants to make that day. He brings every question back to that. And like he did immigration. Every question came back to immigration, which is a huge part of why people are voting for him in the elections. But he doesn't. And to be fair, none of them really answer questions. They might say like a little snippet, but they're going to try to hijack those questions and make it to what they want to talk about to try to make the other person look bad. But I just think this time, I think he kind of...
Well, they try to get him with the January 6th bullshit again. And then instead of him saying, listen...
He handles those questions wrong
he does.
All the time.
All he has to do is turn around and go, let's go back to the replay, back to the tape. I said peacefully and patriotically. That's what I said. Let's stop lying about it. It was 4 years ago. And like even Madam Vice President just stated, we're looking at the past. Let's look at the future.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she says that the whole.
So I'm going to use her words again. Like, dude, you got to be able to. You got to be quick thinking. You got to be very quick with it. These people, she's not smart.
No,
she's not smart. And there's times where I look at him, I'm like, dude, these are layup answers. Like, take their words and put it right back to them.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you said it earlier, so I actually agree with you. We should be looking towards the future.
There was one part in the debate where they were talking about immigration. And she brought up the fact that they were gonna they were going to go pass the bill, but then Donald Trump called up his Republican friends and told them not to because she said that he wants to run on a problem rather than fix it. That's funny because that's exactly what she's doing. She's running on a problem, and she's not. She's been in office for 3.5 years. Well, if there's these problems, how come you didn't use any of your influence to fix it?
There's two ways there.
This opportunity economy you keep on talking about.
That's a right-left combo because when she says it, you turn around and go, well, first of all, that's not what I said. So, okay, that's number one. I didn't say that. Let's talk about what I said. Number one, you mentioned the problem. Well, it's funny you're saying I want to run on a problem that you created.
Yeah.
So it's odd that you admit, thank you for finally admitting you caused the problem. Two is, the reason I didn't sign that bill is because it still allowed 2,500 illegal aliens in this country every day. And if you do the math, times 7 in a week, times 30 in a month, so how many more tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens are we allowed in this country? So no, I'm not going to sit here and bend my knee to an omnibus bill that still allows 2,500 possible criminals, even if it's just 1% of that, even if it's 0.5% of that, into this country. Let me ask you this question. Why were you allowing 2,500? Why wouldn't you eliminate that so we could have signed the bill?
Or why are you so against the SAVE Act now where they want to require American citizenship?
It's not that hard. These people are nothing special.
When somebody says...
she's an imbecile.
When we say, or anybody says, that the Democrats want illegals to vote, and then people come out saying, like, talking about conspiracy theories and calling everyone conspiracy theorists, what is your explanation when they refuse to sign into law the bill that would require proof of American citizenship from immigrants?
Well, they try to go down the road of, well, this is a country of immigrants. Stop.
Oh, great.
Stop.
It's a country of illegal immigrants.
Illegal, right.
It's not illegal. What this bill would require proof of citizenship. So you come in here as an immigrant, you gain your citizenship, now you can vote. It's just proof of that. Why are you against that? And their answer is because they say, well, it's already illegal for immigrants illegal immigrants to vote. Yeah, well, it's already illegal to kill people too, but people do that every day.
Right.
It's already illegal.
So my answer would be, so you're telling me like you just said. So it's illegal to, whatever, sell drugs, but that happens.
Yeah.
It's illegal to kill people, if that happens. So you're also going to tell me that there's no illegal aliens voting? You can guarantee me 100% no one's voting?
No, well, we talked about in the last show. We
on.
brought up multiple articles
Right.
where
Right.
it was happening. No matter how small it is, that's just what they caught. And
Right.
I don't care if it was 500 people. That's 500 votes that shouldn't have happened. I don't care if it was one. That's one vote that should not happen.
500 votes decided the election in 2000.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so
There you go.
every vote counts.
What do you think? Here's the thing. Here's the big teller. And this is just one article from Reuters. After the debate, some undecided voters not convinced by Harris after the debate. I read somewhere. I don't know if it's this
I think
article.
they said 60%.
It was like 6 out of, yeah, it's right.
6
It's
out of
right
10,
here.
right?
6 said afterward they would now either vote for Donald Trump or were leaning toward backing him.
Right.
That's 6 out of 10. So
That's a
clearly she didn't win.
No,
She didn't move the dial.
You know what
She
hurts
looked,
when
she looked slightly better in the debate, but did not say anything of substance.
I think what really when he made a comment about the what is it, the Haitian immigrants, illegals, whatever,
What, eating cats?
eating dogs, eating cats, and the beheading, like she kind of laughed at that,
Yeah.
and I don't think
She said it was.
this is a country that loves their pets.
She said that was extreme.
Yeah, and the way she laughed it off, it was very. I mean, her voters, the people who are sticking by her, are probably laughing too because they're in a cult. But the problem is for the independents, they're going, hold on, is this really happening? Are we, people who, there's some independents who are probably going, is this really happening? Because this isn't a laughing matter if people are having their pets killed or, they're going down to the local park and just beheading geese in front of kids. It's
Apparently that's what they were doing.
This isn't hunting season. Like it's like and then they try to turn around. Of course, all of a sudden the conservatives are against hunting. It's like that's not killing
Somebody
your
said
neighbor's
that. I
cat
didn't
and
see
eating it. It's not hunting.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, they
That's-
tried to throw this. All of a
that's
sudden,
pushing it.
conservatives are concerned about hunting. It's like that's. There's a big difference between waiting for the season, getting your permit, going
Yeah.
out into the woods, blaze orange, taking a deer, harvesting it as humane as possible, and jumping a fence, killing your neighbor's cat and cooking it, or going down to the park and beheading a goose in front of like a kid.
Yeah.
We're not seeing any difference between the two. And I think there was a young black woman who was on, I don't know if it was TikTok, one of them, and she was crying because I think she said they killed her dog. I guess her dog was out in the yard or something like that. I can't remember the whole story. But she said, this isn't funny. You think it's funny going out in your backyard and finding your dog's head on the ground? I'm like,
Was that in Springfield too, Ohio?
I think she was from Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, look, dude, you know as well as I do. Anybody, pets are like family.
Yeah.
And you try to do that, whether it's a cat, whether it's a dog, I don't care if it's my turtle. It's like, if you're going to have that little respect for me, we're going to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what are your So there was a slight reverse. I wouldn't say slight. It's pretty significant that I saw where before the debate nationally, Trump was 52 and Harris was 48. That completely did a 180, and then after the debate, it was Harris 52, Trump 48. I forget where there's
which is odd because then you look at articles where you're going 6 out of 10 independents.
Independents, yeah.
It's like, well, how did that? I mean, maybe that's just. I don't believe anything.
I'm tired. I'm tired of them. I don't believe polls. Polls are one. They always underestimate Trump. They always underestimate him in the polls. Always. If they're going to say that he's up by 1, he usually is up by like 3 or 4. For whatever reason, they call it the silent majority. Whatever.
Several points.
Trump. Clinton was supposed to win 99% chance of winning
Something
it. Something like that. Some ridiculous amount. He though is. And this hasn't changed much from the debate. The Electoral College, he's got like a 90% chance. They're saying, or like I think the lowest I saw was like an 81% chance or something to win the Electoral College, which is what matters. And I'll tell you why it matters, because I don't give a shit if Taylor Swift endorsed the Kamala Harris or Alf. I don't talking about eating pets.
Yeah.
I don't care who she endorsed. I do not give a shit. If you are so stupid that Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris made up your mind whether you're going to vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, you are the reason why electoral colleges are still around, and you are the reason why they should still remain. I'm so sick and tired. I don't give a shit. Endorsements
Megyn Kelly crushed her.
I didn't see that.
No,
Endorsements
Megyn Kelly crushed
are crap. Yeah, it's great. Okay,
What do I
cool.
care what a billionaire And I would assume she's probably a billionaire.
Oh, she's absolutely a billionaire. Yeah. And again, Kamala Harris has she has balls. Talking about the endorsement of Dick Cheney, you called him a war criminal for years.
How that doesn't hurt her?
Years.
I don't
Everyone
understand.
has called him a war criminal.
When he endorsed her, I'm like, good.
Good. Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Don't you people understand that touting Dick Cheney's endorsements, Mitt Romney's, and whoever else, the Bushes,
Liz Cheney,
that is who we want out. That is the swamp. That's who we're against. The fact that you have war criminals.
That shows you that the Democrat Party is not the Democrat
No,
Party.
exactly.
That shows you that is an establishment war
You shouldn't even want to talk about that. Oh, and Vladimir Putin endorsed her too. So congratulations, Taylor Swift, Vladimir.
Did he
Putin.
really?
Yeah, Vladimir Putin and Dick Cheney and the Cheney's.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Who started the war in Iraq and made money off of it because he was in the
they were calling him Hitler.
With Halliburton.
Hitler, they were calling.
No, I mean the endorsement of Dick Cheney. Hopefully, there's enough moderate Democrats left going. Well, that can't be. I'm now on the side. You have to almost.
I'm curious to see what Bill Maher said about it, because he's actually been somewhat reasonable.
He's half retarded though. He makes a good point on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I go, I don't know what you're doing. Like, he flip flops all the time. I mean, whatever.
Well, ultimately, because he's not going to change his vote.
No,
if Bill Maher
votes
said,
blue no matter what.
And if Bill Maher said, I'm sitting this out. I'm not voting for Trump, but I do not agree with the Democrat Party. I'm sitting this out.
I would say fine.
I would respect that.
I would respect that, yeah. But you're basically saying, I don't
you
like
blast
Trump.
him, but you're still going to vote for him.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I do think that Taylor Swift can hurt the votes for Trump. Because she's, the little Swiftie cult that goes around.
I know. Most of them can't even vote.
If they're 18, listen. First of all, she should turn in her Pennsylvania card. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be from like Reading. Actually, she's from like a middle class area outside of Reading, whatever. To sit there and I think Megyn Kelly ripped it by saying, you're basically a billionaire. You don't go to the store and shop for eggs and this, and you're not sitting there wondering whether or not should I get this food or do I have to pay the mortgage, and you're sitting there with your calculator trying to figure out this month how am I going to get through everything and what am I have to cut back on. She's not dealing with that.
No.
She's fine, and I'm not mad that she's rich. I'm mad that you're glib, that you have this look of my because you live up in the ivory tower. You have this look of things aren't that bad down there.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing it from 10,000 feet. But if you're on the ground, you're going, and you have to sit there and actually go in the homes of your fans and see maybe what their parents have to deal with and working 10, 20 extra hours a week just to get by. She's an idiot. I never liked her. I thought she was she's an asshole.
Some of her songs are catchy. I'm not going to lie. Come on, man. My daughter likes her, unfortunately. There's nothing I can do about that.
I don't care about kids liking her music.
No.
I care about people following her. Like she actually like if she was sitting here right now, you think she'd be able to debate anything?
No,
she didn't. And I wouldn't be surprised if she got a phone call from somebody saying, "Hey, listen, can you endorse us?" and blah blah. And you know what? I think was it her.
Let's get her on the show.
I think, I'm sure we're in PA, so why not? When you're stopping home. I don't know if it was her or Jennifer Aniston. But I think it was, I can't remember, it was one of them. Were basically just because of LGBTQ. I think it was Taylor Swift. She was backing Harris for LGBTQ rights. And I'm like, what?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know what that, like they make it like if we went out in the street right now in a conservative area, they're burning, the alphabet mafia in effigy.
Yeah.
No one cares what you do, just leave the kids out of it. That's all people are asking. Do whatever you want with your body. Leave kids out of it. And they can't.
No.
And people who prey on kids are the worst. You're talking about a party right now that what do they call them? Is it MAPS? Minor attracted people. So we don't call them pedophiles or pederasts anymore.
I don't know if that's what
they're minor attracted people. Well, most people don't know the acronym.
Yeah, because...
But then when I turn around and you say it, they go, well, what does that mean? It's like, well, they're trying to basically take the word pedophile or pederast away because it's like, well, minor attracted people. It's like, what So, I mean, if you're changing the lingo up to protect pedophiles, I mean, you deserve the hottest seat in hell.
Yeah.
So,
And that's all. It's kind of weird. It's me and my father-in-law were having a conversation years ago, and he's like very old school conservative. Um,
bad old school conservative, or like Reagan, or
no, I'm talking like when it comes to like LGBTQ and stuff like that. Like
he's just
he
old
is
school.
yeah, he's old school. He is of the belief that like gay people shouldn't be able to get married and stuff like that. Now I'm 41, so I'm a little bit more liberal when it comes to that because I grew up in an era where gay people, we knew they existed. They were, you saw them and whatever. It's fine. Who cares?
It's hard to
They
be
didn't
a
need it.
constitutional absolutist and then turn around and say, "Well, gays can't get married."
Exactly.
If gays want to get married, get married.
Uh-huh.
I don't care. I'm just saying, keep the sex change operations out of the classroom.
Well, that's what the funny. Well, not funny, but this is where I'm getting at with this. When we were having this conversation, he would say, "Well, that's where it starts." And then next thing you know, they're going to be marrying their pets, and they're going to be doing this, and then they're going to be able to marry kids because that's what they're. And I remember saying like that's ridiculous. You can't go from to that extreme just because gay people.
No, because you can
married.
say by buying a gun, the next thing you know, you're getting into an argument, and you're shooting somebody. It's like, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, I get what he's saying. It's like saying weed. That's the gateway drug. It's like, well, I smoked weed when I was younger. I didn't.
What I'm getting at, and I'm not saying he was right, is we are at a time now where now they're trying to normalize pedophiles by changing names
Sure.
into maps. They're trying to
Gay people
they're
aren't
trying
the
to-
problem.
No,
It's
no,
not.
no,
The
no,
gay
no.
people are not the problem. There's a
No.
lot of gays. The gays against groomers. There's a lot of gays that come out and say
Absolutely.
this is not what we were asking for.
Absolutely.
And, I think a lot of them are being shut down. Maybe some are afraid to come out and actually speak more on it. But it's like I always said, it's not the LGB, not the LGBs that are the problem. It's the T's, and not even all the T's, because you can turn around and say, well, Bruce Jenner or
Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner, he's not a problem because he's the one saying, as an adult, you should be allowed to do this. Okay, fine.
And that's
but
what
he's
I'm
also saying, don't get kids involved in this, and men shouldn't be in female sports. So I agree with what he's saying.
That's exactly what I think. I'm like, if you are an adult and your whole life you say, "Nah, man, I was born a male, but I really feel like I'm a female, so I'm going to transition." You're an adult. You can make that decision.
Do whatever
That's
you
fine.
want.
But like you said, keep it out of schools.
Right.
Keep it out of like young. We went over this weeks ago. The depression rate in kids is just crazy. Ever since COVID, it's been doing nothing but go up. This is a major reason why you keep bringing stuff into the schools that kids are not supposed to be dealing
No.
with. You shouldn't have to worry about
Taking the
certain
rights
things.
away from parents. I mean, there are schools that actually are protected. The government actually protects schools from allowing the parents to know what's going on. That is diabolic.
Yeah.
There is no room for that.
Well, that's what happens when you have a government that runs things.
I don't know how you do it, because if I had kids and I found out like a teacher was grooming my kid or enabling that to happen, I don't think I could put my hands
So far,
on
I
someone's
haven't had to
throat
deal
fast
with
enough.
that. I haven't had to deal with that. Hopefully, I don't have to.
Over
deal
here,
with
it's
that.
not that bad. Thankfully, that's more of like the blue cities.
Yet, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's still a public school, and if you watch school board meetings on you can watch them on YouTube. They're public. You can watch Bucks County, like Monco County, anything around here. You can watch school board meetings.
Monco's.
But some of what we're talking about is a concern, but not as much as some other parts of the country, and not even just cities.
Oh no! I mean,
Not even just big
there's shit
cities.
going on like Nebraska
Yeah.
or and like Oklahoma. You hear some of these states. You're going, how are they having the problems in like Oklahoma? It's like, well, what's that? Tulsa or Omaha City, whatever it is. Like these cities, they're getting a little more blue, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what's happening in states where I thought were like really red? What's Massachusetts really look like? And I know because when we went to Salem, and we were walking around Salem, dude, you couldn't walk by 2 or 3 houses without the rainbow flag or the rainbow flag. That's whatever it is. But then you saw the
The new rainbow flag with
whatever,
the brown.
yeah, the pedophile flag. because there's supposed to be like
oh.
a symbol in there. I don't know.
The
Whatever. What the hell is it called?
transgender one.
I don't remember. You have the rainbow flag, and then you have the other one that's got the brown and the white and whatever. But my point is, those areas are so blue. You don't have a prayer.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even if you were even moderately conservative or even independent or libertarian, you're going to sit there and go, "There's no way I can live around here."
Yeah.
I mean, because those people out there are just. I mean, that's Massachusetts. Has got to be it. That's got to be the East Coast version of California.
What let's get back to the debate. And what was your prediction for the election? Who do you think was going to win overall?
Now?
Yeah.
Like for Trump, you mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I have no idea.
Who did you think before the debate? Did you have a prediction?
The problem is there's so many. I mean, look, even when he was against Biden, I'm kind of going. I think with Biden he would win because that's the campaign things are coming up. It says too big to rig. I just think he would have won so big they couldn't have fixed it. Now I think it's going to be tight enough where they're going to cheat. And I'm going to tell you right now. I think I said this to my wife the other night. No matter who wins, the other side's not going to accept it, and we are going to be in. We're going to be in some problems. There's going to be some problems.
I am so curious to see.
Even the cheating is going to be so bad that we can't help but be outraged, or he wins and they just go nope.
Well, I mean, like I said, in order for Kamala Harris to win, I think she has to get more than 81 million votes, or 81 million votes again, that Joe Biden allegedly got in 2020. I don't see that happening.
More black men are voting for Trump. More Hispanic men are voting for Trump.
What was it? 77% of the black vote is supporting Kamala Harris.
That's a win for that. That should be an automatic win for Trump.
Yes, which is really down from what is it usually 88 to 90%, 92%, something like that.
When you're back with Bush or McCain,
no, I'm talking about in 2020. Back to Bush and Cheney, like it was probably about 88 to 92%, I would say.
Well, Bush and Cheney was like
no, Trump Biden. Biden got like
I know Trump at the time got more black. I want to say he got more black votes than any president.
Republican,
yeah, and I would think now he's going to even get him. Black women are not going to. Very few black women are going to vote for him. If black men, though, I think because of Kamala Harris, I think more black men and Hispanic men are going to vote for him.
I think Hispanic men and women actually are going to vote for him as well.
Yeah, because they don't play that. They don't play that trans stuff and the pronoun nonsense. They don't play that game, and I think enough black men know Kamala Harris's record of being a prosecutor, being an attorney, the state attorney general, and know what she did.
Between the black vote,
plus Trump getting locked up over and over, I think he's got street cred.
If that's true, the 77%, then I don't see how you win. That's huge. That plus these independents who are 6 out of 10 are voting for Trump or leaning toward Trump.
If the Democrats can't get 20% of the black vote, it's pretty much an automatic loss. Mm-hmm. So if she's only getting 77% and Trump gets 23%.
Is it 20? I feel like it was like 15%. I thought it was even lower.
Well, but whatever it was, he's going to be over it by whatever, 3%, 5%. Yeah, I mean that's and then you're also talking about the Hispanic vote. Mm-hmm. But look at all the people that are in here. Maricopa County is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
All right. And you don't have. Who's the girl I like? She got the short hair. She was running for governor.
I know you're talking about. I can't think of her. I'll look her up.
But she, I was hoping she would win the gubernatorial race in Arizona. Carrie Lake.
She's running for Senate now, isn't she?
I believe so. Yeah. But I think Maricopa County is going to be a massive problem. I think, dude, with the immigration that happened through Texas in the past 4 years,
I'm not worried about Texas this cycle. I don't think Texas is going to turn blue for at least another 10 years.
I hope.
I hope it never.
But how many people have they got there now?
Yeah, no. I totally get it. But Texas is on top of that. Texas
ain't deep red anymore.
No, it's not. No,
it's
was he winning by 5, 8 points, something like that? Yeah, it's
a most likely. We lose Texas. That is the and that's like them losing California.
I don't think we're going to lose Texas.
I hope not. I don't think we will. But it's getting worse.
They're trying. They've been trying. I remember
the long game. They play the long game.
Yeah, they've been trying. And they're not legitimately trying. It's not like But they did lose Florida. Florida's pretty much deeper. It's like a guaranteed
Thank God. Thank God.
Because that's what 30. That's 30 points right there.
If
Texas is
It
40.
wasn't for that piss poor slop town south of us.
Between
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania would be bright red.
between Texas and Florida, that's 70 points right there in the Electoral College. Because Texas is 40,
Is it?
and yeah,
What's
and
Florida? 23.
30.
Is it that many?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I
They
didn't know
gained. They gained.
30.
They gained because people were leaving. Other remember, 'cause even California
okay.
lost a couple seats, so they're losing.
So they lost electoral votes?
Yeah, because you don't have. Yeah,
All right, well, that's good. That's good.
the population leaves, and here look it up.
Well, I guess, yeah, if you flood Texas with more, well, they don't, I don't know if they count. How's it work? Do you count the population of citizens or just people? Do you have to be a U.S.
Well, that's
citizen
what
to count?
that's what Democrats are. Republicans want to keep.
I think Tim Pool talked about this, and he said they don't count U.S. citizens; they count the populace. So even if you're there, not as a U.S. citizen, they count it.
Well, that's what Republicans are trying to not. To you have to be a citizen to be counted in the
California, 54 votes.
54
Man,
votes for
alive.
California.
Pennsylvania's 19. That's a
No, Pennsylvania's a big
decent
one.
size one,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why it usually comes down to Pennsylvania. Where's Florida at? Florida.
30 votes.
30
Okay.
votes. I know. I know Texas is 40. I'm like 99% sure. Where is it? Right here. 40. Yep. 40.
Okay. All right. Well, that's big. Yeah, but you know,
Even Georgia,
but their
16
their
votes.
guarantees is Florida, New York.
Oh, yeah.
Massachusetts.
Oh yeah. I don't think so.
No.
Nah, Jersey's going blue. It has been blue. If you count like just like the definite states, like right off the bat, red and blue, no doubt about it.
Well, the three big ones are going to be Massachusetts, California, and
Oregon's going to be up
Yeah,
there.
Oregon,
Colorado, Michigan,
Hawaii's
not Michigan.
not
I'm sorry,
Hawaii.
Minnesota. Minnesota has voted. Minnesota's the only state that Reagan didn't win.
I know. I know. My brother-in-law's from Minnesota. I break his chops every time about that. I'm like, what is wrong with your state? Canada.
They like tampons and boys.
You
bathrooms.
think that I don't know. I always thought Minnesota would be like an old school kind of like rough, tough state because it's like, it's
rough, tough state?
Because you're next to the Dakotas and it's cold. You just think they would have like a more of a conservative. Because you think about all the real. It sounds weird, but Wyoming, Montana, the Dakotas, Iowa. They're usually more. That's kind of the salt of the earth. And Minnesota's right up there. But I mean, I guess St. Paul, Minneapolis screw it up because. Well, any big cities are going to screw it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's usually how it is.
All I know is that we ain't winning Minnesota anytime soon.
No.
I would actually. We should do a bet. Who's going to win what state first? Will Republicans win Minnesota or will Democrats win Texas?
We lose Texas. That's
If we lose Texas,
You
I mean,
can
that's
keep
if and when we ever lose Texas,
No.
I don't see it happening.
unless all the Texans move to California.
yeah, and then they take it.
Yeah,
take
they
that
flip it over.
I don't see that happening.
I still don't think you can
I
win
think New
California.
York lost an electoral or one or two electoral votes too, because a lot of people were leaving there going to Florida. That's why Florida, I think, was like 29 or 28.
That's why I said. That's why I said 23. But
Yeah.
I knew it was in the 20s. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah. No, they gained. They gained. So I still think I'm still sticking by my prediction. Trump should win, and I don't care what anybody says. If he does
should.
not win,
The key word is should.
yes, and I don't care what anybody says. If he does not win, it's rigged, and that can sound how it wants to sound. But in order for them to get my integrity back in these elections, I'm going to have to see him win because there's no way.
That's
There's no
something
way.
else Trump
There's no
should-
way that this country has gone through what it's gone for the last 3.5 years, and people are still going to vote for it.
That's
People
insane.
are going to vote, yeah, of course.
That's the cultist mentality.
But you can't sit here. You can't tell me that all these people and I agree with you. If it was Biden, it was too big to rig. Like they would have to just give it up, and that's why they kicked him out and they installed Kamala Harris.
And that's where Trump missed another opportunity to win the debate. He should have turned around and said, "Can you remind me how you're even up on this stage when you didn't receive one single
He did
vote?"
bring it up.
I mean, you sit there and you want to say election deniers, and you want to sit there and say we're protecting democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me how someone who got 14 million votes and was saying he's not going anywhere, all of a sudden changed his mind, and then you just got put on this throne without one single vote?
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, he did mention it, but he didn't put it like that.
No, you need to put a stamp on it.
Yeah.
When you can't just sit there like, well, no one voted for you. You can't say it like that because it's nonchalant. You need to like really put you need to talk where people are like really like listening and like, yeah, that's a good question.
He brought it
How
up.
the hell did you get here?
He brought it up in the context because I think he was talking about when they want to say they keep saying that I'm a threat to democracy, and that's when he went into that whole spiel, which he's right, and that's what people have been saying for a long time. It's 100% right. And a lot of people on the left were agreeing. Bill Maher, a few people agreed, saying like no, like not for nothing. BLM came out and they didn't want her.
That's really weird.
Because I know
She's the Willie Mays Hayes. Remember the movie Major League?
Yeah.
With Wesley Snipes. Yeah. Remember he wasn't supposed to be on the team.
Yeah.
He just
showed up,
and everybody he's like, shit, I've been called already. Yeah. And it's like you're the Willie Mays Hayes of this. It's like people are just looking like, how did you even get here?
That's fucking
What do you think? You because you're vice president now you just get to run? Like how does this work? No one even voted for you.
That's a great movie.
That's a great movie.
Really amazing.
But that's what should happen. They should when she's sleeping, they should pick up the bed and just put her outside. Go, sorry.
That should be your new nickname.
You're not supposed to be here. No one voted for you.
Kamala Willie Mays Harris.
Kamala, yeah. I like how Tucker keeps calling her Carmella. Or Carmela.
Well, I mean, no, it's racist if you say your name wrong. Remember Joe Biden?
She said her name wrong.
Joe Biden, Ramaswamy, because it is an Indian name. Like he actually apparently says it the correct way, and it's like Kumala, like that.
Kumala.
It's supposed to be like Kumala. Like when he was talking about it, he was pronouncing it like Kumala, and it's an Indian name. That's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Mm-hmm. But Joe Biden was calling her Kamala. Camella. Like
Caramello.
Yeah. He's horrible, though. I mean, you can't even really... At this point, Joe Biden's not even really here. He's weakening at Bernie's. They're propping him up. They're tying his shoes to their shoes.
Actually, I was listening to someone on the podcast. They're like, this is the most likable I've ever seen this old fuck. Like, he's actually sitting there busting chops with people.
It's almost like he's happy because he's like, oh, now...
I'm almost wondering if he's not rooting for Trump because he's like, this bitch came in and took my spot.
You know what's fucked up, though? Trump can't even vote for himself.
Why?
He's a felon.
Can't cheat.
Well, you know what I don't understand?
Maybe he should register himself as a Democrat.
Yeah. You know what I don't understand? And this is jacked up, man. In this country, you can be a felon and run for president, but you can't vote. How is that fair? How does that make any sense?
I'm not for...
I feel like if you were arrested, you were convicted, you did your time, you came out, got through parole, whatever it is, and now you are literally a free man, not chained to anything, you should be able to vote again.
Well, the thing is, he hasn't been sentenced.
No, not him, but he was convicted. He was still convicted. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about felons in general.
The problem is, if you do your time and you get out of jail, by not giving people their constitutional rights back, I don't know how it's not a violation. You've served your time. I don't know how that's almost not. Isn't this? It seems like an Eighth Amendment violation. This is, what is it? Cruel and unusual. Why, if I serve my sentence and I'm a free person, why do I have my constitutional rights limited?
I agree. Now, here's my question to that, though. What about gun rights? You feel like they should get them back, too? You should
yes.
Go out. Okay.
I do.
I just want to see.
No, you should.
But does that depend on the crime?
I don't think it matters because
what
you
if it
did
was manslaughter and you shot somebody? Well, I guess you wouldn't.
Here's the thing: if I want to kill somebody, I can still go out and get a gun and kill somebody.
It's true.
So it's not going to stop me.
I was just checking for consistency.
I listen. I mean, if the person's if you still believe that person is violent and they're going to go out, well, don't let them out. If they've rehabilitated and they're not going to do it, and they've been in jail for 30 years, the whole system. We're going to go down on the rabbit hole here. The whole criminal justice system is a problem with. Here's the problem with jail. There's no rehabilitation because you take someone who burglarized a house and you put them in there with murderers and rapists. You're not now. That person has to become more of an animal to survive. You need to start separating these people, and if they behave themselves accordingly in jail and they're going through classes and they're rehabilitated, because a lot of people want to sit there and go, they're in jail. They should be beaten. They should be this. They should be that. It's like the problem is with that, though, is you're just taking them and putting them back in society. And I get the frustration, especially if you're a family member and had someone killed. I get it. Yeah. But the problem is if we let this person back out, you're just letting out a caged animal, and they're going to do the same shit because they haven't improved their education. They're more angry. I don't know. I'm not a liberal person, but I think we do need a way to rehabilitate, or at least at least for the more minor to moderate offenders. Maybe certain pedophiles, rapists, and murderers. Okay, that's one thing. But the more moderate to mild people, they shouldn't be in maximum security prisons. And if they're in more your minimal to medium security or moderate security prisons, there should be a reintroduction to society, classes going on where they can learn a skill so they don't go back out there committing crimes.
That's where I'm gonna. So I also really feel like one of the one of the big reasons why recidivism is so high.
Sure.
Is because once they
There's no opportunity.
Exactly. Once they're reintegrated into society, you can't get a job because people I don't say you can't get a job. You can't get a good paying job. You're going to have multiple jobs because people will not hire ex-cons, the ex-felons, and that's a catch-22 because now a lot of people
You're not leaving them any option.
Maybe people were in prison and were like, you know what, man, I'm done with this. I really am going to get my life together. And then when they get out and they realize, shit, I can't get a job. Hey, my old opportunity is knocking again. I can do this, get quick money like that, and they fall right back into it. And it really is a catch-22, and that's a huge problem with this justice. It's not. Well, it's not. I guess it's not the justice system. It's the private sector,
it's
public sector.
It's a correction system.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about the jobs after they get through that system.
And
it's the jobs.
I get it. If you're
it's the public and private sector not wanting to hire ex-cons, and I get why you don't want to
Sure.
hire ex-cons. I totally get it because you have to protect, your business or whatever the case is. But you can't complain about one thing if you're not giving them the opportunity to better their lives.
Right.
Like we gave you all the rehabilitation tools that we can in prison. Let's just say we did. We put you through the counseling and training programs and so on and so forth. When you get out and they're like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not hiring you. I'm going to hire this guy who doesn't have 4 felonies.
Mm-hmm.
That person's just going to go back to and resort to committing crime
So,
again.
so you're putting it on, and that almost makes you beg the question because prisons are a business. Is it done on purpose to keep the business going?
Well, that I don't doubt for a second. I don't doubt that for a second. Yeah. It's a shame, man. It really is a shame. But I don't know. Got anything else?
No.
That's going to be this week's episode then. I don't know what's going on this week. I think we're going to be here next Sunday.
No, you know what? No, we're not. I have some training. I'll be out there training some people, doing some rifle and pistol courses. So,
on the following Sunday, I won't be here. I'll be in the woods.
Maybe we'll try to do something on a Saturday. Maybe we'll try to squeeze a Saturday in or
Maybe I'll do a little short in the woods.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting. We'll get our content out to you 19 subscribers out there, okay? You stay faithful. Hit like, subscribe, share this video. Enjoy the rest of your week.
All right.